I forged a scholarship letter to save my family, but that lie nearly buried me alive. I still remember the sound of Mama's voice when I told her. It cracked, then rose into a shriek as she jumped and hugged me tightly. Adaeze. You made it. You got a scholarship to study at Unilag. Chukwueluka. I hadn't really won anything. I forged that letter. I was desperate. Papa had died 2 years ago, and since then, our house in Onitsha had become a cage of hopelessness. Mama was selling pepper in the market, my brother was skipping school to do menial jobs, and I, once the pride of my school, was now jobless, tired, and staring at a future that promised nothing. I saw how their eyes dimmed whenever I mentioned school. I saw how Mama wept silently when she thought we were asleep. And so, one night, I sat down, found a Unilag admission letter sample online, and edited it. The next morning, I printed it out, placed it in a brown envelope, and walked home with shaky hands and a racing heart. I told them I had received a full scholarship. They believed me. Getting to Lagos was easy. The excitement of my family carried me like a wave. My aunt in Surulere agreed to house me until school resumed. I packed my few clothes, entered a bus to Lagos, and left Onitsha behind. But the lie became heavier the moment I arrived. Unilag had no record of me. No lectures. No student ID. I walked around the campus, pretending. I watched real students laugh, eat in groups, and attend classes while I sat by the lagoon and stared at the water, wondering how long before someone found me out. My aunt gave me weekly pocket money and assumed I was always in school. I used it to feed myself and visit cybercafes, ghostwriting academic papers and essays for students who didn't know the face behind the screen. At night, I cried. During the day, I smiled. I told Mama school was fine. I told my siblings to study hard, so they too could win scholarships. But deep down, I was drowning in lies I couldn't escape. 3 months in, I knew everything about Unilag without ever being a student. I knew the buildings, the slang, the department heads. I listened during student conversations and made mental notes. I memorized timetables. My phone became my shield. I posted photos taken near the campus. I pretended to complain about tough lecturers and late results. Back home, I was a superstar. Mama told the whole church. They even raised money to support Adaeze's journey. I collected it with shaking hands and said, thank you. I hated myself. But I couldn't stop. I started writing ebooks for people abroad, relationships, motivation, even some business manuals. Money trickled in. Enough to send something back home monthly. Mama used it to renovate our leaking roof. Each time she called to say thank you, I hated myself more. Please subscribe, like and comment what you think will happen next. One day, while pretending to study in the Unilag library, I met Ifeanyi. He was a final year engineering student. Tall, calm and focused. He smiled at me like he had known me forever. We talked. I lied. I said I was in second-year mass communication. He believed me. He took me to lunch. Paid for my cab. Walked me to a hostel gate I didn't live in. It felt good to be seen. For a while, I imagined telling him the truth. That I wasn't really a student. That I was faking everything. But each time I tried, fear choked the words. Instead, I leaned into the lie. He liked my writing. Said I was brilliant. Said he saw a future with me. I almost believed I deserved it. Ifeanyi found out. It was bound to happen. He had gone to the department to surprise me with flowers. They told him no Adaeze Okoye was in mass communication. He waited at the gate, his face pale. When I saw him, I knew. "You lied to me," he said. "I didn't mean to," I whispered. He looked broken. I told him everything. The fake letter. The ghostwriting. The shame. He didn't yell. He just shook his head, eyes filled with something that felt like grief. "I loved you," he said. "I still do. But I don't know who you are." Then he walked away. I couldn't breathe. I stumbled back to my aunt's house, locked the door, and cried for hours. 3 days later, she found out too. Someone from church told her the truth. She screamed, threw my bag outside, and told me never to come back. I was homeless. I slept under the Falomo Bridge. My pride was gone. My phone was dead. My life was a blank page. I didn't eat for 2 days. The noise, the smell, the cold, everything blurred. I stared at moving cars and wondered what would happen if I walked into traffic. But I didn't. Something kept me grounded, a voice, small but steady, reminding me that pain wasn't the end. A man named Mr. Cole, who ran an NGO, noticed me. He brought bread and water. Asked no questions. Gave me a room in a shelter. He saved my life. At the shelter, I began again. I told my full story to Mr. Cole. He didn't judge me. He gave me a laptop. Old, slow, but it worked. I went back to ghostwriting. I worked with focus, writing for clients across the world. Blogs, books, captions, anything. One article I ghostwrote went viral. The client credited me privately and doubled my pay. I saved every naira. I registered for JAM. This time, I studied with fire in my soul. I scored 305. And when Unilag offered me admission, for real, I cried like a child. I started school with a new spirit. No more lies. I took lectures seriously. Wrote more stories. Started a blog. People connected with my words. "You write like someone who has seen pain," one reader said. I had. And now I used it to heal others. My blog grew. Clients found me. I was finally building something real. I made my first million from writing before 21. Not all at once, but slowly. Piece by piece. I used it to send money home. Fix our house. Pay my siblings' fees. Mama didn't ask questions. She just cried and said, "Thank you." I sponsored another girl at the shelter. Helped her register for WAEC. And when I got invited to speak at a TEDx event, I wore the same slippers Mama once begged me not to throw away. I told the world my story. No shame. Only grace. Years passed. I graduated. Opened a writing agency. Published my own book. The title: The Fake Scholarship That Nearly Cost Me My Life. It sold out in weeks. Today, when people ask how I started, I tell them the truth. Because lies gave me temporary comfort. But the truth gave me freedom. I am Adaeze Okoye. I was once a girl with a fake scholarship. Now, I help others find their real voice. And that, more than any forged letter, is the story that changed everything. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment your thoughts for more stories like this.